Okay, welcome everyone to our very first District 3 meeting. We're so excited to have you here. It looks like we've got a couple of people on Zoom, so that's great. So let me start off with, I'm just going to get off of this real quick. So I just wanted to show you really, so on the website, I don't know if everyone's been able to get on the neighborhood district website. Kind of looks like this. And I just want to kind of show you kind of how you find your agenda information. So if you scroll down to the calendar, you're going to find when your meeting date is. So here we have neighborhood district 3 meeting. And if you click on that, it's going to open up the agenda. And then a lot of these things that we're going to talk about, the links are there. So if you kind of miss something at the meeting, you can go back and see the PowerPoints and stuff like that right there on the website. And after the meeting's over, we'll have a link to the recording on there too. So you can always go back on the calendar and look at past meetings or look at future meetings to kind of see what's going to be going on. So we're going to start off with a little introduction of the new neighborhood district program. Let me just kind of bring up here. So this new program began January 1st. Brand new program, and I'm also brand new. I'm Rachel Breen. I just got hired in November. So bear with me as we go through this new program. The purpose of the program is the same as the old program: public participation and involvement in Provo city affairs, and to provide a mechanism for communication between the city council and the public. And so what's the same? You're still having your meetings, still having resident input. Your neighborhood names, boundaries, and Facebook groups are all staying the same. So you're still Lakeview North, you're still Lakewood. That's still how we're going to refer to your neighborhood. There's still the matching grants program, the COP program, meeting with developers on land use items. There'll be representatives from city departments will present at meetings. If the chair wants to do a planning application on behalf of the district, he can apply to get the fees waived, and the district chairs will present the residents' views at planning commission and city council. So that's the same. So what's different? So what's different is instead of meeting as 34 individual neighborhoods, we're now grouping those neighborhoods together into 5 districts. And instead of just having a single neighborhood chair, you're now having a district board. And from that board, you're going to elect a chair, 2 vice chairs, and a secretary. And that's what we're going to do tonight. And the executive board members are appointed by the city council. They applied and we got public input, and then they were appointed by the city council. There are official district Facebook pages that are informational only. You still have your neighborhood ones if you want to be more chatting, but the district ones are purely informational. Instead of the developer contacting the chair to set up a meeting, the neighborhood coordinator contacts the developer and puts them on the agenda. There's to be, anytime that there's talk of a land use item, a city planner will be here to answer your questions. If you have questions about zoning or anything like that, Becky's super excited. So we have a planner who's set aside that's one of his jobs. If there's a land use item, he will be here to answer questions. Another new thing is $1,000 per district, and that can be used for meeting costs. Like if you have something important coming on and you want to do flyers or notices, or if you want to have like a social function or something, that can be used for that. Zone changes, general plan amendments, major street plan amendments will automatically go on the agenda. So if someone wants to do a zone change in your district, that has to go to a meeting. Other land use items, your project plan approvals, your subdivisions, that's up to the board if they want to have someone come for that. But those 3 items have to have a meeting. And then, of course, there's the set time, place, and date for the meeting. So that's all set up a year in advance. And they're always going to be here at 6:30 on a Thursday. And they'll be every 6 weeks. So what I like about the new program is that I like that you get to know what's going on in your surrounding neighborhoods, because a lot of times you're not just affected only by your own neighborhood. You're driving through this neighborhood, or if you're like me, you're right on the border of two neighborhoods. And so it's nice to know what's going on in your surrounding area. Also, it spreads out the responsibilities between about 10 to 11 board members. So it's not all on one chair to do everything. It's spread out. And because there's more people, you have a greater pool of knowledge and resources where you can ask questions, get help. We're going to have a secretary. So the secretary takes minutes instead of the chair running the meetings, plus trying to do the minutes too. Like the consistent meeting time and place. Every meeting is recorded and available through Zoom. So you can be at home and attend the meetings. You can watch it later when you have more time. I also like that there's fewer Facebook groups. So I'll be gradually going just to the 5, because I keep getting flagged for doing spam, and I keep getting warnings from Facebook because I post too much, because I'm posting the same notice to 34 neighborhoods plus the 5 districts plus city council and Provo Forward and all of that. And I've been flagged twice. So I can't be flagged a 3rd time or I'm going to get kicked off. So I'm excited. So that's why I'm like, this is my last time I'm posting on this. So I'm excited about that. Now, what if you don't like this new program? Give it some time. It's brand new. We're trying it out. If there are some things that, you give it some time and you're like, I don't know if I really like this, or I have a suggestion, let me know. Send me an email, give me a call. I've got my cards down at that table. I'm making a list because in about 6 months and again in a year, the city council is going to reevaluate the program, see what worked, what didn't work. We're trying it out. So please let me know, because we love getting your ideas. Also, if you just decide, you know what, these meetings just aren't my thing. It's not what I like to do, but I still want to be involved in the city. You don't have to be a part of the neighborhood program in order to get your voice heard by the city council. You can, if you want to know what's going on with the development, you can submit a grandma request. You can go to the public hearings, planning commission, city council, and make comments there. You can submit feedback on Open City Hall. You can email the boards and commissions and the city council members. So there's lots of other ways that you can be involved with the city and let them know how you think things are going. Okay, so that is my little presentation there. So we are going to go back to okay, now we're ready for our elections. And I think I've got, there we go. So first of all, I'm going to have our board come up and introduce themselves so you can know who they are, and then I'll open up for nominations for chair. So is Stacy here? Oh, Stacy's online.
Yes, I'm on Zoom.
Oh, okay. Did you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Stacy Bean. We moved into Lakeview, Lakeview North neighborhood not too long ago. I am originally from Utah. We've been in Texas for 30 years, and I'm excited to be back and excited to be involved.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Matt, I think he's also online. Did you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, apologize for not being there in person. It's my wife's birthday, so this is the compromise. I've been in Lakeview South neighborhood for over 25 years. I originally was at 730 North, and in 2018, we built a house on 370 North. That's where I am now. We've raised 6 kids in the neighborhood. I'm a software engineer by day. I've been the vice chair for the neighborhood group for the past 18 months or so. And also, incidentally, I'm one of the mods on the Provo Forward group.
Oh, great. Okay, and is it Arian? Is that right? Okay, if I can have you. Do you want to come up and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Erin Adams, and I've lived here in the Provo area since 2016. Prior to that, I was a student at BYU for probably more years than I needed to be. But now I'm a resident of Provo, excited to be here, and I served as the vice chair since 2016 in the Grandview neighborhood, and I'm new to Lakeview South. So.
And Andrew, introduce yourself.
We have an official pulpit here. My name is Andrew Terry. I am relatively new, moved into the Sunset neighborhood about 8 months ago, but before that, lived in Vineyard, Orem, went to school at BYU. I grew up in Orem. I'm a software engineer at Qualtrics, so I work here in Provo, commute through Provo every day. Have 3 kids, and yeah, happy to be here and looking forward to improving Provo.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, Brian.
Hi, my name is Brian Taylor. I've been in the Sunset neighborhood for that long, 29 years, 30 years, and been a neighborhood chair since, well, 28 years, 28 of those years, neighborhood chair. I'm an engineer that works now from home and have my own business out of the house, so yeah, plenty of things to do. No kids at home, but I finally got another dog.
Okay. Sean, you want to come? Maybe?
Sean Felton, my family and I just finished building a house in the Sunset area just a few months ago. So we're relatively new to Provo, but we lived in Orem for 10 years. I went to BYU as well. Spent probably more years there than I probably should have. Professionally, I'm a civil engineer. I work for Central Utah Water Conservancy District as a project manager for them. And yeah, happy to be here.
Great. Hey, Becky Bogdin.
I'm Becky Bogdin. I've lived in Provo since almost about 20 years. I've been the neighborhood chair for the last 5 years in the Lakewood neighborhood. I've been the area rep for the last 3. I'm kind of taking care of a lot of the neighborhoods on the west side, and Franklin and Franklin South. I don't know. I'm a stay-at-home mom by day. I have an accounting degree that I use for personal finances. I'm a Portuguese minor, and not that I speak Portuguese much anymore, it's more Spanish that's needed, right? I sit on the Citizen Advisory Board for the police department. And I don't know what else about me. There's people in the back probably give me a better introduction. If they have somebody that loves you, do it. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and Brooke.
I don't know if I should stand behind this. So they're not being so I'm Brooke Barnes. We've lived in the Sunset neighborhood, or Lakewood neighborhood. We're kind of, I don't know, I guess we're Lakewood, but we're also the Sunset State, it confuses me anyway. So we've lived there for 15 years. We've lived in Provo for 20 years since we got married. And I'm a stay-at-home mom too. I studied local performance at BYU, but I don't really want to sing much more these days. I've got 2 high schoolers and a preschooler. So that's kind of crazy, but I'm excited. I'm brand new. I've not done a lot as far as like city, other than like, you know, PTA and service projects. So I'm excited to get in and help and learn. So
Awesome. Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, at this time, I'm going to open it up for nominations for chair. And so if you would
No.
Okay, so that's a no from Becky. Do we have any other nominations for chair? Oh, yes, Becky.
I'll nominate Brian.
Brian, do you accept the nomination?
My wife won't, but yes, I will.
Okay. He's going to try to see how many years. Were you also nominating Brian?
Brian.
Okay, or do we have any other nominations for chair? I know this might be the easiest vote ever. Okay, so do we still vote? Is he just chair? Do we have a second or?
I'll second it.
Okay.
I think it's just happening.
Okay, Brian is our chair. Nice.
No more online, right?
Yeah, was there any other? Okay, no more online. Okay, Brian is our chair. That was the easiest one yet.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
no, I was just saying Counselor Dave Shipley just joined Zoom. So.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Dave.
Okay, great. Okay, now as chair, Brian, I'm going to turn the meeting over to you. And what was that?
Oh, never mind.
Okay, and then if you will lead the rest of the meeting and open up nominations for vice chairs, and you can decide whether you want them to just vote for one person and just the top two that get votes are the two vice chairs, or if you want each person to vote for two separate people.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. So,
I'll let you do the nomination. Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
okay,
Yeah.
so, Robert's rules. So if we could certainly get started, then, we'll open up for nomination for vice chairs. Becky,
Andrew Terry and Brooke Barnes.
Andrew, Terry, and Brooke Barnes, okay? Do we have a second? Andrew, do you agree?
I
You
accept, yes.
Okay. And Brooke?
Yeah, I accept.
Okay, so any other nominations for vice chairs?
Stacy Bean.
Stacy?
Sean Hill.
Okay, Stacy,
No, I think I need, thank you for that nomination, but I need to decline. I need to learn a little bit more, I think.
okay. And any other?
Okay, did Sean accept?
Yeah.
Okay, and then, Matt Peterson is going to nominate Becky again. Becky, do you?
Matt, I love you. I'm gonna have a chat with you. I'm gonna decline it and I'll tell you the reason why. I'll call you.
Okay,
Oh, is he in here? Okay, so Dave Shipley nominates Matt Peterson. Matt, I'm sorry, Brian.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask if Matt wanted to accept the nomination.
Matt, you got him online there, right?
Yeah,
You said sure.
he said sure.
Just give a thumbs up on the, on the meeting.
Matt said yes.
Okay, so now we have, Andrew, Terry, Brooke,
Yeah.
Andrew, Brooke, and Matt.
And Sean.
And Sean. Wow. Okay, okay, so now I guess we have, voting to do. We close the nominations. Do I have do I have a second for closing the nominations? Got a second for closing the nominations. So can we go ahead and move forward with the voting? We'll all have a slip of paper, write down the two names we have. There you have, thank you. And Matt, we got Matt Peterson and Sean. Okay, those are our four.
Didn't know you could take that one. And Matt just voted. But we have to vote again for secretary.
Oh, you're right.
So then we'll-
I will-
Yeah.
Unless we can only have one nomination.
That's true. It might be.
I didn't vote.
Oh, are we voting for the two people or
Yeah, I'm voting for two.
two people?
We're ready to.
Two names.
Dave.
Okay.
We miss any? Okay. Thank you.
Stacy and Lori online, if you want to vote, just direct message Rachel Breen. on Zoom.
So while they're having that, up, can we get a, then, do I have nomination for secretary? Or is that an appointed position?
Yep. It's,
So can we have a nomination for a secretary?
Should we wait till we have the results from that?
Because we might.
Yeah, because
Do we want to nominate somebody that ends up being vice?
you're right. Just, we have 3 children, all of them were now empty nesters. Breaks my heart, but, so we had to get a dog to fill in the little, well, just, well, my youngest got married, a month later, both of our dogs died. And so my wife said, no, ever again. Well, we got another. And she's looking for another dog too, so we're such dog people, we absolutely love dogs, so. We have a Bogdin.
Those are very popular.
Very, very popular, yes, so, I know David is kind of hiding out back there, so. We've, are you just observing, or, you know, it's like I have a feeling I have to acknowledge our leadership here. And I appreciate the Carters coming. I accidentally sent that email out, so I ended up actually inviting everybody that I had emails to the meeting. So I guess that inadvertently turned out really good. And we're gonna, that's one of the first things I want to work on with Rachel. She's got some great ideas, and I think the city council has good ideas on how we might be able
We want
to
to try and maximize it, however we can.
increase. Yeah,
We'll use your numbers, we'll use ours, we'll.
Yeah.
Email, like, we're just trying to hit as many spots as we can.
absolutely, and work with the technology. And I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Patrice McKay,
Was it
Patrice McKay,
Patrice? Okay,
County Council.
you're on the council. Are you citywide? Okay,
No, they just
Awesome.
came out.
so are you the only council member here then, or
Dave is online.
Dave's online.
Dave's on?
Shipley.
Dave Shipley? Okay, so Dave Shipley's on. Excellent.
okay, so vice chairs are Brooke Barnes and Sean Hilton.
Excellent. Congratulations. Oh, condolences.
Yeah.
And now we'll open up the floor for nominations for secretary.
I volunteered.
Okay, and remind me your name.
Erin Adams.
Carrie Ann. Okay, thank you. Carrie Ann Adams for secretary. Second that, okay. We have another nomination. for secretary.
Secretary is a little different now because they will actually like keep notes and everything. And then you're gonna keep on minutes online, so you guys can always go back if you miss meetings and see all the minutes.
Right.
And that way minutes can also be seen by the council or planning commission or different people that.
Are we allowed to use devices like Koji to record? So that, just using technology that's available, something that.
Look at that.
You would watch.
Whatever they want to use, they can use.
Well, maybe we could, is there any other nominations for secretary? Anybody, any other volunteers for it? Okay. Then we close the nominations.
Anything online?
Anybody? online? Thank you.
Dave Shipley seconded the nomination for
Oh.
Arian. Oh,
Lori.
Lori nominated Andrew Terry.
Andrew Terry. Okay, Andrew, do you accept?
I will decline. I don't know that I'm a good enough notator.
Know your strength.
Thank you, thank you. Okay. Okay, so any other nominations? Great, so we have closed the, do we have a motion to close the nominations? Anybody? Thank you, we'll go ahead and close, I guess, I can't second.
I'll second.
My own way. Thank you, Andrew, for seconding that. So we'll go ahead and close that, and Ariana, congratulations, you got the job. And thank you very much for volunteering for that. That is a very arduous position. And taking notes because there's a lot of things that happen. So. Public comment time. Rachel, what did you have in mind for public comment at this time?
Just if you want to do public, if you want to open it up for public comment, the other districts, just open it up in case someone had issues that they wanted to discuss at maybe later meetings.
Okay.
Like that. They usually limited it to about 2 minutes a person, 15
Okay.
minutes max.
Is there anybody that is here that wants to comment about the new program? How things are going in your neighborhood, how things are progressing, the general nature of your of the program so far? And it's a nice first meeting. I would like to, honestly, if we can move that further down the list so that we can hear from our COP person tonight. And I'll close the public meeting discourse right now, but I would like to hear from our COP officer as well as the school board people, if that's okay. If we can move that further down,
It's
I
up
think
to you.
if they have questions or if there's any other issues afterwards, I would love to do it then. So with that in mind, I'd like to turn our time over to our COP officer. Remind me your name?
Cory Waters.
Cory. Welcome and thank you. And your area is District 5 or District 3?
Well, it's district, it's kind of weird. So the way that we kind of assign our areas was based on, I don't even know where the map came from, to be honest. So I'm taking District 3 and I'm part of District 5 and maybe some other, I don't know, but I have all of District 3. So I can give you all of my attention and whatever else. But so just a little bit about me. I worked for Provo City for just almost 4 years. And I came from a different agency. I worked there for 7 years. So I've got over 10 years in law enforcement. I've worked in investigations, patrol, lots of patrol, many graveyards, things like that. I've been in a lot of scary situations, but nothing's ever scarier than what this kind of stuff. Public speaking is, I don't know how it counts. So the goal of COP or the community oriented policing division is to work hand in hand with the community. So traditional policing is a reactive, we respond to crimes after they've occurred or as they're occurring and try and solve the issue then. But the goal of community oriented policing is to make it a more proactive approach to try and solve underlying issues so that a lot of the crimes that we would normally react to maybe are solved. The underlying issue would be solved. And the hope is that the police department can work with the community so that we can all be a team to achieve those goals. Some of the things that we do in COP each week, we meet with a lot of our community, different organizations. So every Tuesday we meet with Wasatch Behavioral, the Community Action, the Beauty Care Coalition. I mean, a lot of these different organizations so that we can utilize resources that they have and also provide resources to them and hopefully be able to come up with solutions and goals for concerns that we've heard throughout the community. It's successful to a degree, and we try all the time to improve it and make sure that we're doing the best that we can to represent you in the community and help solve any issues or long-term problems that might exist and make them go away. I mean, there's lots of different examples of things that we have been able to accomplish in this division. In your district alone, I guess, one of the things that comes to mind, and I wasn't there for this particular project, but America's Best Hotel that's on West Center Street has been, in the time that I've been here, and I think before, was kind of a major issue with a lot of drug movement and things like that. And working with Pro Housing and different other organizations, they're able to clean it up. I think Pro Housing now owns that building, and it's a lot easier to regulate who is in and out of there and hopefully keep some of the problems that came along with that little motel from reoccurring. And if they begin, and Pro Housing has a lot of leeway on who they can rent to and whether it's evicting them or moving them to a different location that would be more beneficial for that person. We've had recent dealings, I mean, nuisance properties where people have and store cars and trailers and all kinds of stuff. And we work with any organization really that can to try and make life better for the community. And so one of the things that we do is we hope that, if anybody has any questions or concerns, they can reach out to us. Becky in the past has kind of been a liaison for us. I mean, I get emails less now, I think, than before, but and I know you mentioned that somebody else is kind of taking over for you in that. Brooke. So hopefully we can have that same communication, and honestly, if you're more than welcome to call the police. I mean, obviously, if a crime is occurring, something needs to be taken care of right now, still call 911 or the non-emergency line or whatever is appropriate for that moment. However, if there's a problem that you perceive being an ongoing issue, feel free to reach out to our division, or you can get a Brooke. And I'd love to have open communication with anybody in the community that has concerns.
Did you bring a set of cards today?
I didn't. I'm out of business cards and I ordered some, but I don't have any.
Next week.
If there's a whiteboard, I could write my email down. I can get it to Brooke. I think I have yours forwarded from Becky. If you want, I can reach out to you if you
Could
guys.
you get it to Carrie as well? So we can take it and put it
Yep.
in the notes and make sure that we get it.
Normally, if I did my normal meeting form, I'd have like notepad and stuff, but I was like, oh, I'll go sticky when I saw with them. But yeah, I'll make sure that we can get those out to everyone that needs it. We can start that line of communication or whatever. Not sure what else. Is there any questions about anything? I mean,
What do you feel is going right in District 3 in terms of, being on the streets, and also your greatest concerns of what you see?
that's a good question. One of the difficulties that I've had coming into CFB is that there haven't been a lot of issues presented to me for your area. I think that just knowing Becky and knowing when I also spend time in the city council providing security there, and so I hear a lot of and you have a very active community in your neighborhood, and I think that with the ownership that you take, a lot of issues either resolve themselves or haven't come to me yet. Like I said, I'm still new enough that I don't know that I've had enough chance to really know all of the issues or as many as I'd like to say, like I have these projects or whatever I'm working on. So it's hard to answer at this moment just because of my newness. Like that.
I just talked to your patrol captain, Robert.
Oh, Patrick.
Robert Partridge, yeah. And he had asked me, and I said, one of the things I noticed, and I know Becky deals with this on 5th West, is the speed in 5th West.
Yeah,
That's starting to become an issue on 11th West.
Okay.
And with the junior high coming in, with all of the construction that's going on, with the dirt that gets kicked up there, with everything that's happening along 11th West, a calming presence along there would be nice.
Sure. That's awesome. I mean, those are the kind of issues that we look forward to helping with. We can order a speed trailer to be out there. I mean, that alone, I think there's one on 5th West right now, but then I think for that we have our traffic team that's dedicated to traffic enforcement and speeders and traffic accident data. A lot of times we give them those projects or pass them along and they can work. They'll spend time, they'll usually go out and do kind of a blitz where they spend a few days and really hammer it. But I have time too. I'm more than willing over the next several years to spend time out there and even be a presence or make sure that patrols continue to work.
Ones who usually sit on my streets are the neighborhood officers, not the safety officers. So every one of you should have one assigned to your neighborhood. I think I have two.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. I forgot about that. So I'm glad you brought that up. So along with COP, so we're dedicated specifically to the districts that have been made, but the police department they want to make sure that every officer is involved in the idea of community-oriented policing. And so every officer, when they sign or when they're hired, is assigned a neighborhood. And so each neighborhood should have an officer assigned to them. And I can try and I don't know if the list has been updated recently because we've had a lot of new hires and different turnover and position changes and things. And so once that list is complete and updated, I can help you as well. And if you want to distribute that, and everybody can know who their specific officer is. But in the meantime, I mean, feel free to reach out to us, and if I need to, I can reach out to those officers and get those assignments as well. Because Becky's right, a lot of those officers will spend time in their specific neighborhoods, knowing that, you know, they want to take ownership and helping their neighborhood and anyways, so, but yeah, I'll make sure that it's taken care of. So not a problem. Thank you. Any other questions or anything that I can do or be aware of, or not? I look forward to working with you, and hopefully we can, like I said, I open line of communication anytime you need to reach out. I'll get my contact information to both of you and make sure that everybody in the district is aware of who we are and how we can help. And anytime feel free to reach out to us, and we'll make sure that we can, at least if we can't solve it ourselves, then we work with zoning and planning and, I mean, all the different divisions, parking enforcement, and so we can direct things where we need to go as well. So thank you.
So now, we'll move on to the school board. And who is here for the, and you are?
Nielsen.
Rebecca.
Thanks.
You're here to talk to us about what's going on in Sunset.
Close, yes.
Okay.
There's a lot going on, yeah. Let me just introduce myself really quickly. My name is Rebecca Nielsen. I am a Provo resident of 25 years now, which sounds strange to me, but I've been here for quite a while. I currently serve as the president of the school board, and there is quite a bit going on right now, but the biggest and most, I guess I shouldn't say this, but kind of one of the bigger things is that we've got our superintendent retiring June 30th, and we are in the process of hiring a new superintendent. So that's, there's plenty of updates we could go over tonight. I could talk about construction or lots of different things. We have big construction projects going on, and I'd be happy to even take some questions afterward, or anything specific with your area. I actually happen to represent Provo High and Lakeview, those are the schools in your area. But the main reason I'm here is to just give a quick update on our superintendent search and how that's going and where we're at, and how you as community members can help us with that. So we are somewhat still at the beginning of the process. There's been a lot going on behind the scenes, but right about now is right where the public is going to become involved. And we actually are here to ask for your help in the superintendent search. So this coming week, February 6th, on Monday, Tuesday the 7th, Wednesday the 8th, we are hosting 3 public input meetings where we're inviting the public to come and attend. There are going to be several people there. We have a consultant we're working with from the Utah School Boards Association who's helping us with our search. We'll have USBA officers, we'll have superintendents, retired superintendents from the state, people who are here helping us with our search, who will be conducting the meeting. They'll be talking about the process that we're following. They'll be talking about just lots of different things in regards to the search. And then at the end, we have a survey for the public to fill out and answer several questions for us to help inform the school board members as we are tasked with making a decision on the new superintendent. Just some quick overview things on that. I did bring a little printout if anyone wants those meetings, hard copy. It's on our website and it's on our social media and whatnot. If you know anyone who is a Spanish speaker, the Tuesday night meeting is going to be in Spanish. So we would love to pass that message on to anyone you know who would benefit from that. But quick overview, we will be collecting input. We've been collecting input actually through a scientific survey done with an outside company. We'll be collecting input through these community meetings. We'll be gathering all that data together to inform our qualifications, what we're looking for. At that point, we'll put out an announcement, open up the position and collect applications for a while. And then after that, another way that community members can be involved is we will have a citizens committee put together to review the applications that are received and to rate those. And then once those are rated by community members, that's when they'll come to us as the school board members. And that's where we'll start narrowing down who we'll interview, et cetera. So there's some really great ways for community members to be involved, and we're very aware that we can't do this by ourselves. We need help from our community. This affects everyone, and it's a big decision and a long-term decision. On average in Utah, superintendents stay in a district for 10 years. So this is the potential next 10 years of a city school district. So we're looking for lots of help, lots of input, and we would love for you to be able to come and attend either of any of those meetings next week. If you happen to know a staff member that works in Provo City School District, we also have a meeting this coming Friday dedicated just for staff members only. So pass that message along to them. If you happen to know anyone, we've tried to advertise well to them, but sometimes people don't check their emails, so. So I'll be happy to entertain any questions you might have about that superintendent search, or if you have something specific about a school in your neighborhood or construction projects that are happening, I'd be happy to take questions as well.
I'll just say that the next meeting, board member Terry McCabe's already planning to come and give a big update about shoreline, so we can talk about that next.
And this is Jennifer Partridge. She's also on board. She's actually set to do the kindness week presentation. I don't know how my name got up there. Sorry, I can do that. I don't know
Wrong name
about it. So it'll be very short. We'll get.
One of the concerns and that I've heard about around the community is egress and ingress on traffic flow. Buses coming in, traffic coming in, pickup drop off. How are they coming into the area? How are they going to get out? What's going to be the capacity load of 11th West of what is that, 890? So how does what's the plan? We just want to see what the plan is going to look like. What are the hours of these influxes going to be? I'm sure that the construction is going to be amazing. And we have no question on that. They look like they're on schedule, but as a neighborhood, we would really like to know how it's going to impact us and what's going to be happening during those times of influx.
Absolutely. I can give you a quick general idea. According to the Dixon Middle School hours right now, I assume they'll be just about the same. So it's going to begin at 8 a.m. and it gets out at 2:50 p.m.
Okay, so
So that's going to be your general areas of influx of traffic flow in and out. I assume they'll be pretty similar. I
right.
say
So
as far as the plan and whatnot, a lot of that happens with the city and with our construction committee for shoreline. I don't know the official plan. I'm not part of that construction committee, and we haven't as a board been updated on that plan yet. So I can find out and I can get back to you, or when Terry comes at the next meeting, I can have her tasked with specifically addressing that issue. Would you like me to do that?
well, as we get ready for that, and whenever that date's going to be, look forward to that. But we would really like to make sure that as a community, we're ready for that impact.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Any other questions for me? Yep.
A lot of the schools, the older facilities are adjacent to parks. And I understand the school district is beginning to separate the school properties from the park properties. And as that occurs, will the school field still be available to the public outside of the school hours?
Absolutely. So we can actually specifically talk about Lakeview, which is in this neighborhood and one that I represent. So many of our schools are next door to parks, as you mentioned, and we find that we run into issues during school hours of people wandering onto school property, not understanding that this is school and there's recess and kids here, this is the park, just different things like that. And for safety issues and for various reasons, there's a whole fencing project we just approved where we'll be putting up fencing, mostly chain link, in between or on the border of the park and the school. Most of those fences will still have openings or gates that open and whatnot, and they will be opened after school, so that access won't be cut off, and you'll still be able to access playgrounds, etc. We will be doing other things like posting signage to help people understand during school hours, this is for the kids and this is for the community, etc. To try and help people understand kind of the barriers and why. But yeah, that's going in, and we absolutely will be cutting off access to the public after hours, so you'll still be able to get it. Some of them even actually won't have gates, so there will be openings that just will be permanently open, if that makes sense. So you'll still be able to access that.
Thank you.
The citizens' input as you rate the superintendent, if we know qualified individuals in our neighborhoods, are you looking for input in that capacity as to who might be part of that rave?
Absolutely. Okay, so that process, as far as the citizens committee for rating the applications, is still being finalized, but it will most likely be something like this. There's 7 board members, and each of us board members will get 2 invitations, so we'll be able to target specific people we may want
Gotcha.
on committees, and we'll fill them, and there's gonna be about 35 individuals on the committee. That'll take up about 14 of those spots. Once those 14 are filled, what we'll do is we'll try and fill in from there and make sure we cover every different demographic, age group, all sorts of, and make sure we get a really diverse committee to review those applications. So if you know anyone who would be great, or if you even want to, or you're interested in that, feel free to email your board rep, whoever it may be, or any of the board members, and let them know you're interested. And we'd absolutely be happy to take that in consideration. Just itching your eyebrow, okay, not a question. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, perfect. I have these little, I'll probably just put these on the back table if you want to know the dates and times of the meetings. We would love to have you attend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You got video for us?
I've got, yeah, presentation. All right, John, up to you. Please.
I should have it. Actually, my thing's broken. I have it here.
You got it?
Oh.
She's got it.
Okay. This was just typed in advance.
Oh.
Your USB is broken. Yep.
Yeah, I've got a thing stuck in there.
Okay, well, I will just talk to you then. So. All right, I'm Jennifer Partridge. I am on the school board, but I'm here tonight with a different hat on. I am the founder of an initiative called Provo Kindness. And it started in our school 8 years ago, which I'll talk about in a minute. And now we've taken it citywide. And so I'm here to explain a little bit about what we do. You might have seen some of our signs around town and things. Our theme is kindness starts here. Go ahead. And our mission is to cultivate a community of understanding, empathy, connection, and respect. And just to help us think about the way we think about and interact with each other. Go ahead. Okay. Some of the ways we do this, a huge way is on Instagram and Facebook. And so I'd encourage you, if you are on social media, to follow Provo Kindness. We give ideas on things you can do to be more kind, some quotes, some challenges, things to just kind of help you step out of your comfort zone. Okay, go ahead. And one thing we like to talk about is this umbrella of kindness. I think sometimes we think kindness and we've stereotyped what that means in our head. That's taking cookies to my neighbor or giving a compliment, which are good things and they are kind, but there's a lot more to kindness. And so these are some of the topics that we go into on our social media, especially. Go ahead. We host different events. So these are some of our past. We've done service projects and booths, and the one on the right there was a big event that happened this fall that the schools hosted, but we were there having people share their stories of kindness. So go ahead. There's more of that. Go ahead. As I mentioned, we are in all of our schools. So all 18 schools in the district have a kindness club. And what these are student-led. And they think about how can they increase kindness, not just them being kind, which is important, but also getting everybody in the school to think about looking for the kid who's sitting by himself, who needs a friend. Go ahead. So we have a retreat every fall to train those kindness club leaders, and then they come up with ideas and activities to involve their whole school. Go ahead. And these are some of the ideas that we give them. Move ahead. And they've done that one on the bottom there. They were giving out cookies to teachers and telling why they appreciate them so much. We like to make posters and things. So, all right. So Kindness Week is a citywide event, and we have one coming up February 13th through the 18th. So you can just think the week of Valentine's. This is our Kindness Week. These are pictures from past Kindness Weeks, but we try to get everyone really focused on stepping outside their comfort zone, having conversations with one another. Go ahead. And here is the schedule for the week. And I do have some flyers in the back if you want to take one with you. But you can see we've got 3 different events going on throughout the week, as well as some things that you can do on your own as well. Go ahead. So first, our first event is Monday night on the 13th. It's going to be at Centennial Middle School. We're going to explain what Kindness Week is all about, how you can participate, and then BYU Noteworthy, which is their women's acapella group, is going to be there and give you a free concert, which is pretty awesome. We'll also have free cookies for anyone who attends. So hopefully we'll see you there at Centennial. Our next event is Thursday night of that week, and it's going to be at the Rec Center multi-purpose room, and it's a community conversation. What this is we get people together, and we're going to talk about what does it mean to be a part of the community, what experiences have you had that have been positive, maybe some that haven't been so positive, how can we learn from that and build from one another. And what's really cool about this is you get in small groups, and you get to meet people you've never met before and just come to a new understanding. And it's very, I don't know, everybody who leaves just said what a positive experience it has been. So we only have 50 spots for this. And so we're encouraging you to get online. It's totally free. But if you go to our website and register so that you can reserve your spot, and then you get a free gift just for coming into that. Throughout the week, there's going to be this kindness quest, and you can get this from our website. But you pick at least one item in each of these categories, and when you do it by the end of the week, you let us know that you did it, and you can pick a free t-shirt, a free sticker with the same logo, or one of these yard signs for your house that says kindness starts here. Go ahead. And then Saturday, we're having a big celebration. The picture there on the left is from a past kindness week that we had in April. So it's not going to look that nice outside. We're having it inside this time at the rec center. But we're going to have some activities, some booths, some fun. And then this is where you'll come and you'll pick up your prize for participating in the quest. And also throughout the week, Miss Provo is sponsoring a shoe drive. It's called Souls for Souls. And you can bring any gently used shoes to any of the events, and then they go to help people in third world countries be able to support themselves. All right, does anybody have any questions about Provo Kindness or Kindness Week? Okay, tell your neighbors, hope to have you participate with us. Thank you. And sorry.
Yeah,
video.
and we have a little video about how the neighborhood program participated in Kindness Week, one of the neighborhoods. So we're gonna play that for you. And think about all the good that surrounds us. Neighborhood shares know that she has extra kindness. And so our neighborhood committee has managed to take 4 signs, 1 for each member, with which we could nominate one in our neighborhood, thanking them for the kindness that they had shown. Something that one of the things we connected on for several months. We invited maybe trends in this project. We got a little information on what we were doing and explained the person who received something explained that they could post the night for a period of time and then choose to nominate another neighbor. They would be able to then put some time in that neighbor's yard and put a picture and explanation on Facebook. They why they want to the neighborhood to see comments below the post. Many people appreciated a particular neighbor, and then many other residents who chimed in and responded to the expression. We're delighted for the opportunity to Breen and easy more how much
statement is generated. Forming and sustaining to see so many examples of generosity and kindness.
Okay, so that was the Grandview South neighborhood. So they had the signs, and we have signs here for each neighborhood that has a representative. So I have 4 signs here. So if you want to take a sign and it has instructions on the back, you can put it on someone's yard, write them a little note saying, hey, you're always so kind because you do this, this, and this. And you put it in their yard, and then they can then take the sign, put it in someone else's yard, write them a note saying, hey, I appreciate you doing this. And it just kind of goes around, and you can do it. It's just voluntary if you want to do it for Kindness Week. Or Grandview South, they actually did it for about 4 months. The signs kept going around the neighborhood. It was just really fun to see the signs, and they would post on Facebook. And so people could see the signs in front of the people's houses. So just if you want, they're over here and they have the names of the neighborhoods on them.
If we could skip the matching grant
Mhm.
explanation for now. You did a good job at the beginning of this evening and just introducing it, and just so that we understand that there is a neighborhood program, grant program, matching grant program. And it has to do with using grant money and community service to produce something. So I'm going to leave it very short. I apologize, Rachel, but I do
No,
want to make sure.
well, you
Just
can
check
always
that-
go and see the PDF just by clicking
you.
on there. So
I
you
appreciate
don't,
that.
I don't have to present. It's,
Yeah.
you can just read it.
So, John? Who's John? John, thank you. You guys want to know what we're recognized for your golden, your, how good you guys are. So come on in. Look on in there. Tell us how great, I mean, we do have great parks, right?
Thank you. John Bunderson with Provo City Parks and Recreation. I am the Provo City Parks Planning and Project Manager, so I have a great small team of internal staff that develops and delivers the new park projects and renovations to existing facilities. Here in District 3, we, in the last couple of years, have improved the Provo River Trail in this area. There's been improvements to Fort Utah Park with the show improvements, and hope you're enjoying the trail lighting like on the Provo River Trail. Those are the types of things that I engage in. I also sit on the coordinator review committee that reviews all new building plans that come into Provo City. Specifically, I'm reviewing them for the parks assets that are typically adjacent, but I see them all. So
Hold on 1 second. We are some technical difficulties.
no worries. I'll just keep talking until
Great.
we go. So I was going to follow the matching grant presentation, just so if we could introduce some thoughts into your minds of maybe where you could use the grant once it was awarded. And I believe it's still up to 5,000, but it's only for the district that
Right.
covers, where before you had the opportunity, each neighborhood to get 5,000. So while it's coming up, I don't have a YouTube video, do we?
What was I clicking on? Oh,
Oh, I sent you a link. You
Oh,
have a file.
I thought that
Yeah,
was
the
her.
files
There is so much investment in infrastructure, both from Parks and Recreation, Public Works, and the Delta Restoration Project. We're talking hundreds of millions of dollars invested on the west side program, west of the interstate. You know, new schools going in, the airport expansion, Lakeview Parkway improvements and bridges, and the Delta Restoration Project, the Provo Regional Sports Park is coming. All sorts of great, huge infrastructure investments in the west side. And we're glad to be a part of it. The things that we would like to partner on with your grant, first of all, I want to say, you're not limited to parks and recreation use of that grant. It's really up to you as a district and neighborhoods to decide where that is best invested in your part of the community. for Parks and Recreation, we'd love to partner with you. We're locked into our capital improvement plan that is approved by the council and that we execute on a 5-year basis. It's a rolling 5 years, so every year we adding on that next year as we complete the prior year's projects. You can go to the next slide. Back. There we go. Yep, I think I said that already, so we'll go forward one. There's maps, I think you've seen them before, but this is really in purple, the whole area that's encompassed there where we have the lower end of the Provo River. We've got footprinters, Sunset View Parks, Fort Utah, West Park, Lakeview Park, the future Delta Gateway Park that's coming there off of Lakeshore Drive, and the Provo Regional Sports Park. There's also Lakeview Parkway Trail. Yes, Becky?
Okay, so first, the grants have to be used mostly towards public areas, and those are mostly parks, right? So $5,000 doesn't buy a lot, right? I mean, when we were talking about maybe a couple picnic tables or something.
And maybe we can come back to your comment after this, because I do have some recommendations if you're looking at parts specific that fall within that $5,000 range.
Okay.
So specifically, I've got 4 bullet points on the right, and I'll just go into a little bit of some examples of that. Go to the next slide. So on the right are some parks that I've identified that are not labeled with a monument sign like we've done at Fort Utah Greenway and at North Park, a little bit further in town. These just acknowledge that there's a park space there. Like on Geneva Road, Trailhead, we have an old wooden sign that's due for updates. There at Sunset View Park, there is no signage. It's right next to the school. So as those are being separated in the future, it's nice to have that indication. We are planning future expansion at Sunset View Park, but it's just not in our current 5-year. It's on the south side of the Provo River, east of Lakeshore Drive. Nice little natural path in there that is part of a conservation easement by the Land and Water Conservation Fund, so it's protected, but we don't have a sign on it yet. So those are just some ideas. The Lakeview Parkway trailheads, there are 3 on the south side of Lakeview Parkway at 500 West, one at 1600 West, and one at about 2500 West on Lakeview Parkway. Go ahead and go to next. This is one of those trailheads. In addition to a sign, we could do some improvements there, some rock mulch, some low-level lights that solar power, keep with this sustainability ideas, and maybe a bike repair station if people are out. Yes, sir.
I swore that was a park and ride.
A what?
I swore that was a park and ride, not a trailhead.
They're actually trailheads. They're very small, but they are trailheads, so you can park and ride your bike. Very cool.
No, it looks like,
Yeah.
a community park and ride, but I'm great.
And then to the point of a bike repair station, let's go to the next slide. These are what bike repair stations look like, where you've got pumps and tools, and something like that could be installed on any trail that we have. I think there's one on Lakeshore Trailhead. But again, these things periodically have to be replaced, and as tools are used or taken and wear out. So just some ideas on that front. And then the 4th one, Provo River Trail nodes. So as part of the planning for the major Provo River Trail improvements that occurred a couple of years ago, there was in there a design for these nodes where there's a plaza, some concrete, additional concentration of benches and or tables, and more of a social gathering place off of the trail surface. They're called a node by the designer, but these are already planned. They are a future funding mechanism, but they could be nibbled at with a $5,000 grant and could slowly work those in as funding is available.
It's important to know that you say $5,000, but it's a matching grant, which means the neighborhoods need to pony up, not $5,000, but equivalent in labor, resources, time, whatever it is. So it could be much more than $5,000 in our labor and, work to do and whatever donations that you bring to the project. But it is a matching grant. And so I just wanted to make sure that if we think about these projects, who would be the project manager? Would the Parks and Recs be the project manager and coordinating with that all? Or does it require the neighborhood chair committee? How will we before the district?
So
How are we going to do that?
strictly a volunteer effort. We have a volunteer coordinator for volunteer work. But if there's a project involved, I'm engaged with that as well. So it would be a combination of our volunteer coordinator and myself. Like if there's materials needed to be ordered, I would be involved with that.
Okay, thank you.
So with that, Becky, did you have additional questions or comments?
I think they're all great things to think about. I think we should all, what about something in the Lakewood Park? Is there an option there as well?
Lakewood?
Park, yeah.
Is there a monument sign there already? That would be,
There's no picnic table, there's nothing but playground, there's no
Yeah.
potty, there's nothing there except for just that playground.
so we are open to anything that the district, I don't want to pigeonhole ideas to what I presented. I was just giving that as the springboard or starter to the district, thinking about that, having conversation where you'd like to spend your time and the matching funds for it. So absolutely, anything within your district is fair game.
No, footprinters though, I mean, I've had conversations with Doug and, because footprinters does need love, but there's some restrictions there. And, I know that the city hasn't been that interested in upgrading that. Is that still the feeling or? I mean, are we
When you
gonna
say
just-
upgrading it,
Paving the parking lot,
paving parking,
cleaning out the mud hole, which is.
So- are we talking about only parks director, or are we still talking about
No, we're
the
still talking
grant
about
and-
$5,000 grant.
yeah, the community, just bring us your ideas. But I'm not putting anything off the table.
Do you have a list of these projects that you have in mind?
So we have our capital improvement plan, and anything within that capital improvement plan, we can work within, as far as that goes. But Footprinters Park is not in our 5-year for a full remodel. We know there's things coming down the pipeline, it's just not been identified with a funding source for the major renovation of the park.
For the capital improvement plan, do you already have a budget for that? And
Yes, it is separate funding, separate resources for the capital improvement plan, but we can substitute items into that. So, for instance, the regional sports park, it's completely different funding. But if the district wanted to engage in something as a part of that, we would definitely want to talk to you about it. So, did that answer the question you had there?
I'm trying to, see. Would we want to do that if there's already a budget where would you advise that we direct that matching grant into another project outside the capital improvement plan?
I would say let's have the dialogue. I don't know. Again, I don't want to restrict what the district or neighborhood's needs are. If you've got an identified need, let's talk.
We also could use we use the grant as well for school projects. To work with the school district and projects for a special project within the school district. At Sunset Elementary or the junior high that's going in, or any one of the elementary schools within the district, we can work. That's what the matching grant is for, is what the district feels will be the best input for that money to the district. And whether it's schools or Park and Rec, but I don't want to leave the schools out of the equation as well. Or even filling the pothole.
high level order of magnitude, what's the size of the annual capital budget for the parks?
So let me just say our two primary funding sources are impact fees and grant tax funds. On top of that, we supplement with grant applications, and it really depends on the funding cycles of those grants. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less available with those sources. We fluctuate in Parks and Recreation anywhere from $3.5 million to $20 million per year. And it may look like we have more or less than that based on if we completed all the projects within that anticipated funding year, or we have to spend more money on projects because of the cost went up on that because of inflation. So it really bounces around.
So, these slides that you showed us with the trailheads and things, are these all part of your, like, 5-year
Yes.
plan?
Yes. these are all
Already?
within.
Okay, so these are-
Impact fees aren't necessarily limited to where you're collecting those impact fees, are they?
No, we are able to use impact fees citywide, but they have to be used for expansion of facilities. So I have to build new square footage of park, or I have to build new length of trail. Gotcha.
Just for clarification, for those that don't know what impact fees.
Sure. So as members of the community, we have hired Zion's Bank to come in and calculate what the per person impact to our park system is within our community. And adding one more is a cost to the system of X amount of dollars. Is the best way I can explain that. So every additional household that moves into our community is adding a cost of either operations or expansion of park facilities to the community of X amount of dollars. And so that is assessed at the time that a new building is the permits are pulled. Just like it's just like if your sewer system has to be expanded, or your water distribution, your drinking water distribution is expanded. So we are in that same system.
And right now you're using impact fees for which project?
Multiple,
You do for multiple?
yes.
With one specific project?
Well, the new Quail Orchard Park up in Timpview is one. The regional sports park is another. So it's really spread throughout the city.
Thanks.
The Provo River Trail was part of that too. In just recent years.
Just that little pocket park downtown.
The plaza, yes. And we're supplementing those funds too. We like to leverage those where there's a contribution match for grants required. Instead of using all impact fees, we'll partner with some grant agency and double the amount that those funds buy. Thank you, Len.
Thank you, John.
Look forward to seeing ideas when you guys have them and want to bring us in.
Excellent. Thank you so much, John. Becky, you're up last year.
I'm not last year. Okay, so I really have nothing to do with the service project. I was just approached from one of the residents. They're setting up a pretty big service project. They're gonna clean Geneva Road from Center Street all the way to the Temple of Zion. And so when I was approached, I said, hey, do you mind if we use those service hours and put it towards a matching grant, where we can take this funding and put it towards something with matching? And he was gracious enough to say, yes, you can use the hours. I just don't want to do the payment. But you can't blame him. It can be a lot of paperwork. So that should do the majority of it, but we're still gonna have to probably pick up some hours with service, which is, like we said, great community building. And a lot of people are already doing service as it is. And those can be counted. It just has to be like breaking someone's leaves, cleaning someone's lawn. We could do a big park cleanup. We've done this in the past. Parks and Rec has a volunteer program. They have a volunteer coordinator, and so it's really good to reach out with some of those and they can say, hey, you know, we need additional hands cleaning up here. They also take care of all the way to the freeway for all the trash and stuff along the Lakeview Parkway Trail. And so that is just something that I thought we might as well use the hours if somebody is going to want to work to do that. The one question I do have is I have seen some of these matching grants come through where they've already done the service project, which would help us a lot as far as paperwork goes. Is that something that we're allowed to do, is allow this to happen and still continue with this process?
So usually they have a set service project that they can do, figure out their hours, and if anyone donated, you know, goods, services during that, and then add that up and then use that for a matching grant for something that they'll maybe do like a month later, or something totally unrelated to their service project.
Because if we did that, that way we would only have to collect the signatures once. If
Right.
not, we'd have to have people pledge the service hours. We'd all have to go out and get signatures for it and then turn around and get them all to sign when they actually completed the project.
Right, yeah, because I've seen two different ways of doing it. One is you pledge your hours and you do service kind of for your project. You do it all at once, but then you have to pledge your hours and hope all those people show up. And then I've seen it done the other way where they did a different project. People just came, sign up, sign in and out for their hours, and then they turn that in, figured out how much money they got, and then went and used that matching fund for a different project.
Yeah. So those are some options that we have. Personally, I think that would be a lot easier having done two myself, is to do it that way, just to see how many hours we get on this project while we're still working through what projects we want to use the money for, or projects we use the money for, and then fill out the paperwork and get it all done.
Right, and they usually do, the ones that I've seen, and I'll double check this with Elizabeth, but they usually kind of have an idea as to what they want. Like they might be like something for the park, like they might have a certain park in mind. But then, yeah, they don't have it all fleshed out. They get the volunteers and then they put in the final details.
So I guess Breen was something that happened.
So as far as getting an idea or a project approved and also getting the matching grant money out, is there like a deadline for that? How does that work as far as we have a date that we need to get all that information?
So the matching grant is done by the fiscal year, which is July 1st through June 30th. So you're gonna want to get it done, everything done before June 30th. Because otherwise,
Or we could apply.
I mean, or you could apply July 1st, but you could kind of take advantage of that money right now and then get more at the beginning of the fiscal year.
We found in our neighborhood, it was really great to just build plan a big service project, 200 people show up and we've got the hours. And then we say, okay, let's meet and say, figure out what we want to do now that we know we've got the hours. Then we put in the application.
I think that's kind of what we were aiming for, because it'd be a lot less paperwork for us.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
As there's no
It's a lot.
guessing, like, well, we think maybe, and you've got the hours, they're logged with the city.
I've never really had an issue with that though. I mean, people usually are serving people and people are usually gracious about giving me their hours. It's a lot easier that you don't have to do that double step. And that's probably more of what I recommend is, because we're still fishing through ideas of what we want to spend the money on.
One question, if you do service hours, you've earned it for 1 year, and can you apply for a project that in the next fiscal year to say we've got this bank of hours?
I'm not sure, Justin, are they going to be able to like do their service project in one fiscal year and then get the money in another fiscal year?
That is a good question.
Because that's what we're looking at. Isn't it within 1 year? Does Dave already know? Isn't it within 1 year?
I don't think that close of attention, but what I've seen is the money, the matching grant money is definitely in the fiscal year.
Yeah.
And I know that some people who had larger projects would even plan it for the end of June, beginning of July, so they could actually hit it twice on kind of the same project, because as long as the money was used in the 2 different fiscal years, that worked out.
And what is our fiscal year?
You're
June
June
30th.
spring project,
No,
and
it's
then
June.
July to another.
I'm just saying what I've heard and what I've seen. I'm not saying, because the project, the thing has changed, so I'm not the one to ask if that's
Yeah,
okay.
we
but-
kept it the same, so I believe it's within the year. As far as. July to July,
So some
July to
people-
June.
So that it could actually get twice the, twice the money. Of course, then you can't do anything for the rest of the year. But the way I have seen it though is though the hours could be done in 1 fiscal year to qualify for what would be then used that next, because it was all kind of one project. All that matters really is when the money is spent or whenever it's
When you
allocated,
apply
however
for
that's
it,
done
right?
with the city. But that's what I've seen.
We'll have to look at the.
Okay,
schedule.
yeah.
I'm an expert.
Elizabeth in our office, she's in the council office and she's the expert, so we will ask
I'll let
Elizabeth.
them know.
Is there a target number of hours that we're looking for?
We
So
get
get
paid
that.
so much per hour.
It's $10 an hour.
So $10 an hour divided by $5,000 tells you how much. Pretty much per person.
Yeah,
$10
$10 per
hour.
person per hour.
Yeah, and then all of this work, huh? So all the prep work and everything that can all be included. So all this guys meetings and, you know, maybe half of these people, all that. can be included.
100 people, 5 hours. Not gonna happen.
Yeah. Considering, you know, me knocking on doors and the last time I spent a good easy 20 hours just trying to prep this thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I never thought about counting that. That's great.
I mean, it's like, wait,
Yeah, it's great, 'cause that's why I said mini can are very helpful, you know, if there's 10 of us on this board, that's not very many hours per person.
And I've seen people, they'll have a service project and someone will bring food for the service project. And they've used the amount that they spent on food as an in-kind thing.
We
to
did
go
a
towards
paint the
that.
house, and the lady whose house was painted, she paid for, you know, paint, the rental of the sprayer, and all that was used is in an in-kind donation, so we didn't have to have as many hours. So,
That's just $1 per dollar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dollar for dollar for any kind of donation.
Can we all log an hour and a half tonight?
you're like an hour and a half tonight.
Big project, yeah.
Elizabeth,
We gotta get out of here in the next 7 minutes, or just an hour and a half. It's gonna be 2 hours. if we stay long.
Just- I am gonna sit here and I am just gonna talk about random stuff in the next 10 minutes. All right, any other questions, anything? Okay.
It's good. I was just thinking about, I want to make sure we get out of here on time, okay? The best meetings are ones that end on time, right? Or early. Is there any other, now, input from our neighbors and any other input that you'd like to bring out? This is, we've kind of got information overload this evening, and I really appreciate your time here. But before we adjourn, I do want to impress upon each one of our neighbors. Get 10 people here next month, or is it next month?
It's
Next-
in March.
It's
and
in
March 16th.
March 16th. 10 neighbors, okay? Get the word out. This program is only going to happen with your support, your interaction, your help. I want to thank Rachel for all of the hard work she's done on this brand new project, this brand new program, and Catrice and all of the other city council that put all of this work into redesigning the system. We've got to make it work. That's what we're here for. It doesn't matter what we're handed, we're going to make it the best, because what? Program, right? I think that's the spirit of program. It's just making it work and making the best of it. So I appreciate the new neighbors that are here, that haven't been here for very long, and those that have been here for a long time. I really appreciate the support. I would really appreciate your support in bringing more people to the meetings. And if not, Zoom them in, if anything else. Okay, and I really look forward to working with the school district and all of the things that are happening in District 3. The Parks and Rec, this new sports center is going to be amazing, and I really look forward to that. And so I really, there's so much exciting things happening on the west side. I'm just happy that we're watching it grow and that we can have a part of that. So thank you very much for coming tonight, Rachel. Thank you so much. And that, I mean, honestly. Thank you so much.
And just a little plug, throughout the whole month of March, Mayor Kafusi is going to be coming to all the district meetings. And she is asking people to send questions. So you can send questions to your chair or to me, anything that you want answered by the mayor. And she's gonna bring all the head honchos. So if it's a public works question, she's gonna bring in the head, Gordon, the head of public works, and she's gonna be answering questions.
Can you give your email address to the people that are online?
Oh, okay, yeah, it's rbreen@provo.org. And and it's on the agenda, so if you go online for the agenda, and I think also on the webpage, I think it might be on there. If I get it up off of here. I think I have, here I am. So Rachel Breen. So if you have any questions or anything, and questions for the mayor, things that you want answered.
Just blow up her email. Okay, don't spam, just great questions. Okay,
Okay.
then I guess the District 3 meeting will stand adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you
great.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And I'm
Nice.
I'll wait.
Recording.